Hi, I'm Danny Butler.
Hi, I'm John Shirt.
And I'm Stu Day.
And this is a brand new Trialtube podcast.
Season 2!
Right, gents, welcome back as we are going to start a fresh podcast. We've been mithered, bothered. Basically, I've had loads of people sending me messages, which is lovely, by the way, so please do keep doing it, and I will keep answering them.
It has been quite a landslide of people going, when are you doing it again? When are you doing it
Can
again?
you just explain the word mithered? Because I know what it means, but a lot of people, because in books we say no mither, and people go, what?
Is that a local thing then?
No mither. Yeah, but people don't know what it means. My missus.
Really?
What do you mean? No problem. No mither.
Yeah. Don't get in a mither over it.
So, if for the uninitiated that are outside of the Staffordshire Moorlands and local Buxton area, that mither is basically when people are pecking your head, which is very Manchester anyway. So if you don't understand the first two, we're not addressing it.
Only if people getting a fluster down south.
Yeah.
That sort of thing, isn't it?
That sort of thing. Basically, people giving you a bit of jib. Now,
the last podcast we did, end of season 1, was us three sat round in a bloody cold barber's shop. And we're not anymore because we're sat in my kitchen with pot stove. It's a bit nicer, isn't it? And we were talking about Scotland.
We were talking about Scotland. It is also the reason why we've brought back the infamous John Shirt, who was back with us again. So Happy New Year, John.
And to you. Yeah, glad to be back.
Now, since John was on the podcast, which obviously last time we touched on a very heartfelt subject, which was the Scottish 6 days for John. We've basically poked the bear hard enough to, by the way, this is an exclusive.
How you're jumping ahead. How did it bloody get there? Because yes, we poked the bear and went, we put loads of entries in and never got picked. Fingers up. How did we get to this point, Daniel?
We put an entry.
Who did?
Sorry. Yeah, I'd say that's a good point. So without the knowledge of Stu Day, I was super bored whilst on tour with the mountain bike stuff this winter, and I entered me and Stu into the Scottish because honestly...
Did you tell me?
No, of course I didn't tell you.
No.
I do think that...
I
mean, if we're going to sit here and just basically give people jib, then we can't be that guy that sort of pokes the bear and then when the bear wants to have a go, oh no, I'm not doing it, I'm going to run away. So,
he phones me up and he went, have you checked your emails? And I went, no, why? He went, you best check your emails because I've just opened mine and I've got an entry into 6 days and I entered you as well. And I entered it all bang. I'm like, oh my God. So yes.
Well, since we spoke with John on the last episode, I really think that John, he just sells it in a very romantic way. I feel like Scotland through John Shirt's eyes is like something you should do.
It was a spirit. He was talking like in a spiritual way, and he was zen-like as he's up to his axles with snapped swinging arms across a moor. He felt like it was the right place to be in life. So
just away from people, isn't it? It's just away from the chaos of normal life. But no, I mean, not so much now.
You're still passionate to that.
Oh, Christ almighty.
You've got an entry this year?
Yep. I can't think what it is. 34th, 35th ride. But yeah, you'll realise when there's places you go, you know, you wouldn't even get on a bloody horse like. You're in the middle of nowhere. And for me, when you're with, you know, in the countryside and in nature with your bike, it's just, that's what it's all about. Sections are getting away for me now, because last year I rode around with Doug, which was a bit stupid because everybody wants to watch Doug, and he was still cruising and everything, and I was like, I struggled last year big time. I have got excuses, but I'm not going to bore you with them.
If he's struggling,
but I do get a bit nervy now in Scotland because I was good and now I'm shit.
I don't agree with that. I rode around with you a bit at the Tower Trial. John Shirt is not shit. SH1T.
He's not shit. And that's just put the fear of God into me because I'm only a year younger than you. I've never done the Scottish. I've had 3 knee operations. I'm bloody obese. How the heck am I going to go on first timing at 52?
What's it got to do with bees? Oh, obese.
Obese?
Oh, right, okay.
Blubbery, fatty. I'm going to have to delete the dad bod and live on
bloody full of bees.
Lettuce. How am I going to flip him?
You'll be fine, honestly.
Realistically, in my head, I've already gone, there's only one goal. Try and bloody finish.
No, of course you will. It's easy. Don't worry about that. It's the only thing that's hard work in Scotland is the weather. It's the only, and you're fine with that. Jesus.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing to get your head around.
To
the
get
actual course, the road work is fine.
Really?
You're doing 40 mile an hour. There's no need to race on the road. Modern bikes are shit on the road anyway, apart from a month. And you just ride it as 6 one-day trials. You don't ride it as 1 6-day trial. I know it sounds weird, but it isn't. You just do each day as it comes.
Okay.
And it's just like riding 6 long, say, S3 rounds. That's all it is.
Just like that.
Well, I looked at the calendar, and before the Scottish, who shall we say, I've often said that I don't like non-stop. I was looking on the calendar last night about riding as many S3 rounds as possible prior to Scotland because...
I never thought of that. You've got to completely... I have no problem with non-stop. I like non-stop. You've got to completely recalibrate your entire riding style.
No, we haven't, because it does in Scotland. It's the section. It doesn't matter what rules they say in Scotland. Say if they say, right, you stop allowed and you're allowed 5 minutes in a section. Sections you don't need to be stopping.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Oh, right, okay.
So they're all straightforward. So you wouldn't want to be stopping anyway, really.
No. Looking at the sections, they are momentum based.
Yeah, and I think, the observing has got a little bit. Modern bikes, modern brakes, modern clutches, and the way to bike, you can have a momentary pause. And
is that, you see that as acceptable?
I think the observing has mellowed a little bit, which is, nobody wants any confrontation up there. Crikey. No.
And you've got to give it to the observers as well, because again, due to the weather, on sunny days it can be beautiful in Scotland, and on not sunny days it can be
like a survival film.
Yeah. I mean, when you're across even if the weather's bad, if you're riding across the moors, you're warm and you're doing stuff. So, yeah, all credit to the observers, fair play, because it is long days for them.
We're going to be pestering him about how many pairs of this we need, how many pairs of that, how many helmets.
If you want to pester John about what you need to do to Scotland, he wrote a really nice document that we attached to a podcast previously. That way, there's no mither.
But he's going to do right well out of me, because I'm like, John, just put me a bundle to one side of what clothing I need. And like, there you go. Don't look at the bill. Don't look at the bill.
I think the bill. Well, talking about the bill, right? Let's just put this out there. Obviously, when you get your acceptance for your entry into Scotland, mate.
That choked me.
Mate, did you see? Obviously, I've got to do this without too much reaction because some people may be listening to this on the wireless.
On the what?
On the wireless.
On the wireless.
On the wireless.
Does that mean less of wires?
Yeah. I'm not explaining to anybody younger that doesn't know what that is. I shouldn't know what that is. And basically, the entry fee to Scotland is...
steep. That took my breath away a little.
The entry fee for Scotland is worth it.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We are about value for money.
When you finish,
I did wonder.
When you ride around there and you think, good God, like 100 mile-ish a day, one route, there's a lot of flagging. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of landowners. Good grief.
£700. £700.
750.
750. Is that the same for you as well as us? I wondered if they doubled it for us because we were gobshites.
No, it's the same. But it is worth it. Good God, it really is. I mean, we do a 2-day British Enduro Championship for £200.
Yeah, I know.
So I was going to come on to that next.
When you think of other motorsport, that goes nowhere in road racing. It doesn't buy a set of tyres. It does nothing.
The normal club rider is a bit spoiled when he does club trial. I mean, I wouldn't even know what's a club trial now. 20 quid.
It's been too cheap for a decade.
25 quid.
Is it 25?
Averagely
quid?
20 to 30 quid. Not like
you're on your bike for 5-6 hours.
And when you think of a trials license, it's only 27 quid or something. It's ridiculously too cheap.
Well,
but I would guess, David Dignan is obviously the right man for the job, but you imagine the headache they have with certain landowners, and not so much landowners, probably Forestry Commission.
Yeah.
And the fueling, I know, is a proper headache for doing.
I am riding a bike with a carb for that reason.
So to do the fuel legally, I believe only the army could get away with it, do it. So if it wasn't for the army, how legally would they do the fuel? It's a big... We just cruise in. Do you know what I mean? You pay your 750 quid. That includes, obviously, your petrol and everything. You get lunch thrown in that.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
It does seem a bit steep, but when you've done the event, you'd be like, fair play.
No, I was literally, for anybody that's listening right now, just so you know, that was me gaslighting you, Per.
It causes conversation.
Of course it does.
It's
I
not,
think
it's
we're not, shall we say, immature enough to know that to ride your bike for 6 days in a place as epic as some of the locations that you're going to be riding. And it's true, because if you're listening to this again, John Stewart was just making the kind of face towards me that was like, mate, it is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and I am genuinely, it's been a long time since I've rode in Scotland personally. I rode there in the World Championship at Fort William on the mountain bike. And then before that, it was when I was doing A and B Nationals.
Crikey, yeah.
And that was 99, 2000. So it's been
But
a while.
I do keep harping on about the weather, because last year, nobody likes an early day in Scotland because the sections are slippy. So, and our early day was the Thursday, and it was just old-fashioned tough luck. We were early on Thursday. It pissed down Wednesday night, and the rivers can rise quick with water level. So there's a lot of new sections. So did we get stung? Oh, not really. Doug was with me. We were like early Thursday, and Doug lost the trial basically on that one day. Tough shit. My big Dougie Lampkin friend and fan. It was just tough shit.
That's motorsport.
And they were harping on and whinging now, and I'm shaking my head thinking, Jesus Christ, it rained. Davy Dignan, whoever, they can't stop the rain. It's just how it is.
No,
and I remember one year it rained that bad, they had to delay the start 3 hours.
Oh my God.
Because they came off the moor the day before. They didn't have a clue what to do with the course the next day because the weather was that bad. And from memory, I don't know what year it was, they definitely delayed it till 10:30 start. And we did a short loop. So they adapted pretty good. But that's the only thing to get your head around in Scotland is the weather. Because
so you've got to go prepared for anything.
You're not so bad because you're outside on the farm anyway. But
the face says I'm very weathered.
Your head around the weather.
Very
Go
weathered.
prepared for it being shit.
The big thing for myself and Dan, and we have spoke about this, for us, it's a big bucket list tick. For both of us. Yeah. And the amount of people, obviously we're both in the trials industry, and they've gone to us every time and they've gone, have you done the Scottish? And I've worked there, but it's humiliating to go, no. And we feel, well, you're not a real trials rider till you've done the Scottish.
If I hear that once more.
I know, that's same here.
Oh, God.
I know. So for us, it's a big bucket list.
Get bent. Actually, you're not a real trials rider.
I have no idea.
I've done everything else around the Scottish. I've done shows at the Scottish for years on end. I've done all of that crap, but I've never actually rode down the road. And honestly, I'm very appreciative of the entry. This is me looking at the camera. Thank you very much for giving me and Stu an entry.
We'll bring cake.
He'll bring cake, and
it's that much appreciated.
Just take Gore-Tex. Don't bother with the cake.
Okay, we're not bringing
cake. You won't be bothered about the cake.
Just take Gore-Tex.
Just take your
Gore-Tex. And if the sun's out, take all the midget.
Still take your Gore-Tex.
yeah.
So I think on future podcasts we're going to touch back into the 6 days preparation because I'm going to be on a whole different body shape by then. Hopefully,
I'm going to love this as we do more Trialtube podcasts throughout the year.
You'll see. Just put a stiffer spring on the back. Don't be asked about.
Yeah,
I want my knees to have less pressure. Thank you.
No,
if I can
still put a stiffer spring on the back
if
anyway,
because I've seen the blubber on my knees, I will.
Right.
That brings me on to it. Your knees are not so.
No, I had a partial knee replacement bang on 3 months ago, and it's all right, but I can't ride yet, nowhere near.
Are you
I'm
planning
worried about
you will?
Scotland.
You are.
I'm definitely riding it, but
can I ask on what?
Know.
Because the last podcast we did with you were like, I've always wanted to ride a mont at
No,
Scotland.
not now. I'm shit. I don't want to ride. No.
Are you tempted? Because obviously you are a good dealer of fine brands, and there is a rather fantastic Spanish trials bike with a easy button that goes no more kicking up for shit.
Until you mentioned that, I've not even thought about it.
Are you tempted to have an E-Start TRS? You sell the buggers.
Now you've mentioned that, I don't know. But
Why? Hey, it takes a lot of pressure off. Do you know what? That knee is hanging. And do you know how tempted I am? Because I've got one in shed.
Yeah. To be fair to you, that's not a bad idea. Like, I don't think people are really understanding, shall we say, the accessibility of an electric start trials bike, because you see a lot of chaps at club trials. I'll give you an example. Here we go. Robin Morwood. has just come back to riding motorcycle trials.
Yeah,
Obviously, famously part of a sidecar team years ago. His lad rides push bike trials. Adam and Robin came back into motorcycle trials, and the bike that he chose to ride was an E-Start TRS to come back into it because he hadn't done a lot of riding, etc. And I think when I rode, I was at Bracken Rocks, actually, not exactly the most friendly venue in the UK. Yeah, and he spent the entire day laughing his balls off, watching everybody else start one up, and he just kept pressing a button. He thought it was hilarious, to be fair to him.
Do you know, I very naively, years ago, scoffed and went, not proper Easter, bloody everything. We'll talk more about why I know about TRSs in a while, but ridden one, can't tell the extra weight. You cannot tell the extra weight. And when I went to a kickstart bike again after doing 2 days on the E-Start, God, I missed it.
Did you really?
I really missed it. So in the corner of this podcast, our makeshift podcast, we've got a beautiful MV Augusta. Would you want to kick that up? No. Would you expect to? No. We've got so used to
I'm glad we haven't got Ben Butterworth here.
With road bikes, the lovely... It's just so lovely. When you've got used to it on a trials bike, it's just, you're pampered. So I think you should. Because your knee, you're going to take a world of pressure off your knee.
Yeah, it's maybe an option, but
look at him. He's not keen. He's not keen.
I'm doing my best.
I don't even think about my own Scottish yet because it's not that far away, but my knee is, and it's not it is an excuse because it's not an excuse. It's real.
It's not an excuse.
It's not ready yet. It's not ready to ride. I'm going pedaling this weekend if the snow disappears.
Would you be wearing knee protection like knee braces, knee supports?
No, not knee brace. No, because there's nothing wrong with my structure of my knee. It's just it's a partial knee replacement.
Okay.
So my kneecap was bone on bone, and now it's plastic on titanium. So
you wouldn't need like
factory.
No, I don't need a
ligament support.
No, I race with a enduro with a knee brace on, but for trials I'll just have a knee pad.
Okay.
I did struggle last year, and
mate, I'm an advocate of knee pads in trials.
Yeah.
Same with because of the push bike life.
Well, this knee hasn't got an ACL in it, and it's got a half an MCL. So I'm thinking, I'm currently scrolling through Temu and Amazon and going like, I don't know what the best ones. I'm going to have some sort of exoskeletal support.
So you need a brace then.
I don't know what the
hell
you
riding. Full knee brace riding trials is
pod or a CTI.
Okay.
Yeah, pods or CTI.
So welcome back to the Old Man Podcast, where you can check out people without working knees.
But we still ride trials.
Yeah. Oh my god! Just so you know, trials is not an old man sport. Don't start that.
No.
So just talking about obviously bikes and shall we say even memories about Scotland. Off camera, before we started this podcast, we went on a quick tangent thanks to the bike that's in the background for today. We've actually got a Fantic section, 1997 aluminium frame section, which I think there was probably only about 8 that came into the country.
It was the bike that sent Fantic bankrupt.
It was. Simply because they couldn't afford to make it in the first place. So then when they tried to, they really did screw themselves over. John described it as a wonderful piece of machinery before we got on the podcast.
He said it was pig ugly, whereas in my eyes, it is one of the most beautiful trials bikes ever made.
Yeah,
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
But anything, it's like if you hear an old record and it's a 20-year-old record, it's about the memory attached to the record, isn't it? You don't think, this is a mega record. You think, that club, that bird, that this, that, and that takes you back to do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
When
I look at that with the biggest rose-tinted spectacles ever, but I think it is beautiful.
I know.
And I think
it's like a mate of mine, a very quick one. A mate of mine, he bought a Lancia Integrale 16 valve.
Yes.
And it's at my place, and he got dropped off on a flatbed trailer, and he handed me the keys, and he went, don't drive it. I went, all right. He went, no, you can, but don't, because it'll ruin your dreams. It's got no power. It's as flat as a fart. The suspension doesn't work. Brakes don't work. So stick with that memory of it being brilliant, which it was in 88. But you drive it now and you think, is this really, what it used to be? So
it's almost like what they say, don't meet your heroes.
I'm going to be honest. Yeah. I have rode...
old shit is just old shit.
I rode Jaime Sabiro's Fantic Costa, which was the 98 version of this bike in green and red. He's got one. It gets started once a month to make sure that it's nice, and they run it up and down the road, and that's all it's ever done.
I believe there's 3 in the world.
Yeah, there is. There's one in the reception of the old Ossa building as well, brand new, unstarted. And I rode that bike, And I got borrowed one of these because I was waiting for a 1998 gas from John.
Okay. And I remember you, you'd have been 13 years old.
Yeah.
And it dragged you around.
Berry Cliff Quarry.
Absolutely. I was about to say, the colours look like Superman and Superman's cape, and you would have been that cape flapping off the back of it.
I was like
being
a piece
dragged.
of washing.
Yes, a lump of wet spaghetti being flung about. But I love it. Man, then the power.
Oh, it's still powerful
motor
now.
Puts out. It's got a power valve. It's got an adjustable power valve. And this part, I've got to do some thanks. Because I haven't put a spanner on that bike. I have not.
I can see that.
I gave it to, that's why it's so good. I gave it to Si Butterworth, who is my head mechanic and just one of the loveliest human beings on the planet. And he has painstakingly gone through it. The frame and everything's been mirror polished. I could get the list of work it's had done is phenomenal, including it's dripping with lovely S3 stuff. Which is obviously.
Can you imagine giving a young lad now a little tin of Duraglit?
Polish that.
They wouldn't know what it is, would they?
No.
Yeah, can you just polish my silencer? They'd open the tin and go,
What's that?
it's full of wool.
I know. How time has moved on.
Well, I'm glad you said that.
But she is beautiful. And hopefully,
horrible.
when the weather is dry and there's no muck of any kind, we will actually let Danny do a Trialtube test on it. Get off! Have you felt the weight of it? It's a quarter of a ton. Oh my God!
I love the fact that Fantic's great idea to make their bike lighter was fit a heavier aluminium frame.
John, you're dead right, because what that is genuinely mostly going to do, barring a couple of times a year go to maybe out to a classic trial, which there is a class for now, because Peak Classics are doing a pre-2000 class.
They should just call it like the kettle class, full of bikes that boil over.
It's simple. Pre-2000. Pre-2000 water cooled. That does what it says on the tin. Because 2002, 2001, the Gas Pro came out and that changed trials forever.
2002, yeah.
And 2000, it was the Montesa 31Rs, like your dad's, that were basically cheating. It was so good. So it's for the old girls.
Yeah, I genuinely, when me and Ben Butterworth did the RTL 315 review of that bike being rebuilt to like Fuji spec, apart from the mid box, that's the only thing we couldn't get that was like the HRC version. That and a set of clamps for the forks. They're the things that we couldn't get. Everything else is pretty much as it should be, like Fuji's bike in '99.
Yeah. Talking about old bags of shite. What is your favourite? What's your misty-eyed?
What's my favourite bag of shite?
Yeah.
Easy.
1990
water-cooled gas.
Really?
Yeah, I mean...
I wouldn't even know what that looked like.
I think I do. It looks like it's got a radiator underneath the frame.
We started in '88.
Frame.
We had two years of air cools. So I had 2 years up in Scotland on them. And then the first water-cool one was a white one. And me and Scarlett rode it in Scotland. And then after about 2 days, I was pissed off. Scarlett were pissed off. My dad was pissed off. And I was a young smart ass back then, as everybody knows. And I said, Dad, can we seize these up? Do you mind? Because my dad was obviously... They were horrible. There was actually nothing fundamentally wrong with the engine.
Just rev them until we seize them.
So I rode to Lag and Locks, which was always Wednesday morning. I might be wrong, it might have been Tuesday. I rode to Lag and Locks, flat out, and it's 27 mile.
Trying to kill it.
Seized it.
And I got to Lag and I'm like, fuck's sake.
It's still going.
It's still going. It didn't use a drop of water. Engine-wise, and the cooling of it was absolute bomb-proof, but the frame and the suspension was horrendous. It didn't work, basically.
But the engine was good.
And I was a brat, so I finished 14th, which was shit.
Terrible finish there.
Wow.
Scarlett it would have been top 10, can't think, but it was horrible. And then the purple and green Delta water cool came off the back of that.
That's the
which
one I
had new
remember.
frame, modified front end, still shit upside down forks, but the bike was good.
That's the one I remember.
And then 92 first contact, we were off. You know,
is that when Geordie jumped?
Geordie was 93 contact T.
Right.
I had a
with the chrome
contact 160.
Yeah.
I came off. This is quite a jump as well, because you boys remember the overall weight of that bike. I came off a TY80 onto a contact. Yeah. And I was tiny, and C-Class then, you used to be able to ride up to 100cc, and we had a go-kart place sleeve it down to 100 because that's what people used to do for C-Class. Which John probably had no end of trouble of people coming in with sleeved hundreds, telling them to stop coming in with sleeved hundreds.
Can't remember.
And then they changed the C-Class rules maybe the year after.
My first gas bought off your dad was a brand new 97 JTX.
What a bike.
Fortuner.
Oh.
Because your dad
pancake
bought
exhaust.
a rock on them, and it were cheap, and it were good. And that was it.
They were
I
good.
got off that because they'd gone bankrupt, and I shit myself because it was 6 months old. And I sold it to Bill Pye and went straight to your dad with the money.
Good old bloke.
And bought, and that was it. I was then on gas for 10 years.
Yeah.
More.
It's funny sleeving bikes down because spoilt brat, whatever. I rode a air-cooled 250 Yam in B class. They were only 250s.
Yeah.
And you can only have 200cc in B class. So my dad made it 200cc, and it was mega. I won the British Championship. Whoop-a-doo. It wasn't me, really. It was the bike. So all the dads were whinge all year. So the last round, they the ACU told my dad to take the barrel off and measure it. So they did it there and then. After the last event, I won the last event, and they took it to bits and measured it, and it was 198cc. That was quite sweet. But that's what my dad
beautiful.
That's what my dad was good
God,
at.
I love moments like that where people get to eat a nice big sandwich.
Pie. Damn you for being in the rules.
My 125 Majesty was a 182. So that was cheating. I rode the Isle of Man.
I love the honesty.
I rode the Isle of Man 2-day trial. Oh, God knows what year, but that was a 182. So these strange CCs, just because my dad, he was an engineer.
Yeah.
And that's what he was.
And a
good at.
genius.
Yeah. When he made a 390 monoshot Yam.
Oh, beast.
390
That must have
monoshot. Yeah.
That must have
Just
been
two
mental.
people could ride it. Adrian Clark, Chris Clark. Scarlett hated it. Burks hated it. It was shit. It was horrible.
Really?
Yeah, but the Clark brothers loved it. But yeah,
Were they built like you and I? Were they monsters?
They're just
chunks of muscle.
tough Sheffield. Yeah, they're good riders. Still good riders. Do you know what I mean?
Fair play.
But Chris and Adrian, they were bloody good back in the day.
These
Unsung
names-
heroes, actually.
Yeah.
Chris and Adrian Clark. It was all sort of Sheffield was all Tony Scarlett, Dave Thorpe. Yeah, legends. But Chris and Adrian weren't far behind them. Paul Rose and bloody hell, there's loads.
Paul Rose.
Yeah.
See, now, there's a name that is not, shall we say, highlighted enough in the trials industry, because I had a lot of tutelage from Paul Rose when I was younger. Paul Rose and Sam Connor. I was very, very fortunate.
Rider.
And Paul Rose, from what I remember, won a Rucker Nationals, only ever on a 200.
On a 200.
Never had any more on a 200. Yellow 200, famously. But another two riders that never get mentioned, but were very inspiring for my generation, were Mark and Robert Harris. And you just
their old names, fair play.
Mark Harris was properly good, and Robert was
very good,
insanely good, and almost inspired the likes of me, Dibbs, Tom Sager, that next generation of riders.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate the way they were treated, I think.
Yeah, I also think that as well.
It was a bit too strict, that.
Yeah, and let's be honest, for those who have had the privilege to ride in Spain, etc., some observing can be a touch windy. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what I mean by that, then go to Spain and you'll find out. But
Italy and France are the worst. Good grief. But I say it's a while since I've been.
Yeah,
things may have changed.
Things may have changed, granted, but we've all had our fair share of they might come over here and say the same thing about British observing. You never know, but we've all got our, shall we say, experiences of that. Just very quickly, I want to highlight on a quick segment because we've got. So this episode is very nicely sponsored by S3.
Yes.
Oh, is it?
Yes. Yes.
So
that's something to do with me. That
it is definitely something to do with you.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
So talking about brands very quickly, because we do try and have a quick highlight of a brand, and especially with the start of the podcast season. Season 2. I thought we'd kick it off with a very nice brand that make very cool parts regardless.
I like them. That stripping with it over there. Look, have you seen? That must be the only 97 Fantic in the world with beautiful S3 setback pegs.
Now, John doesn't actually sell them, but those pegs are the new style.
No,
you can buy them, but I don't think he keeps in stock Fantic 97 section S3 pegs.
I don't know.
I see what you mean. Yes,
built
because
in the
they
website later.
they would be out of the rule parameters. I see what you mean.
Yeah, they're not in the raw parameters. Also, S3 as a brand haven't spent countless hours, days, years developing a peg for this bike.
But
Yeah.
but them ones do fit on really nice, and they alter the geometry just right.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they make it almost rideable?
It's very rideable because we've got gas yokes on it, and the rental top yokes and rental fat bars, and it rides. When you stand on that, yes, he's a heavy old turn.
Yeah.
But it's
Is it
quite
good
a
on
modern
traditional crap?
stance.
Is it good on old school type stuff?
I'll be honest, I've not ridden it more than a figure of 8 round the yard, and then I just put it away.
He's not rode it anywhere else but
He's going to live in my
I
office.
think that'd be good in Scotland. Scottish streams, that.
He's giving you a lot
I
of
think
gin.
you can go on Platt Fog with that one. Not a chance in hell.
So obviously S3 are a brand that not only make parts and accessories, they make workshop accessories, some absolutely banging clothing, and are my personal glove choice. Not because I'm sponsored by S3 or anything like that. I buy them.
But we'd like to be.
I wouldn't even know who to ask. And yeah, genuinely, I think that you'll notice even on the likes of Tony Bowe's bike, Jaime's bike, there's always an S3 logo on there somewhere, which I think speaks for itself.
Yeah.
These guys have got the shall we say, freedom to use whatever they want.
I'm a lever snob.
You're a lever snob.
I'm a lever snob, and I only like S3 levers.
I think the secret with S3 as a brand, well, it's no secret, is the main man, Michel Kaufman. Of course, he's in Girona, and it's a Spanish-based company, but he's a Swiss guy, and he's an engineer. So he's a Swiss engineer. So if you imagine, if you think they make quite nice watches, don't they?
Yeah,
The
they
Swiss.
know what they're on.
He's not obsessed. He just likes quality stuff.
Attention to detail.
I'm not knocking anything that's made in Spain, but what I'm saying is he's at heart a Swiss guy. He loves he's so passionate, and that's the secret. Well, I say not secret, but the company is a passionate guy.
Yeah.
And any advice, good advice, bad advice from say me or the other importers, he takes it on board. And if I say, any chance you could make these or make that or try a different colour, try this.
He's open to it.
Yeah, he is. I think that's probably what works well with Billy, because they help Billy Bolt. Now, Billy is, well known. He's
an animal.
He's
Let's
at
be
the very
honest.
top of his game.
Yeah.
But with Billy, he'll deal with one person. He'll go straight to Michelle.
Yeah.
So if Billy says, can I have this 10 millimeters that way? Or can you do this colour? Can you put a Newcastle brown ale? Can you put shearer on my back? Can you do this? Can you do that? It's just a yes.
Yeah.
So like the custom clothing, it's not like, you need a minimum of 20 shirts. If Danny Butler or John Shirt wants one shirt, it's no problem. So
That's lovely, isn't it?
I think that's
that level of dedication and professionalism.
Yeah.
That's unique.
I think
that's
that's
brilliant.
I think that's basically, shall we say, the trial passion, as they always say in France. It's always about the trial passion when you ride in France, isn't it? And that sort of attention to detail, but also him being that passionate about the clothing and also wanting to keep trials, shall we say, modern, present, very much giving people the style that they want. I've seen guys out. I think here's an old name. Jean-Luc Nictou was riding in some S3 gear that had. I'm sure he was on like a Triumph. I think it might have been at the Costa, and he had Triumph S3 gear, which looked really cool. So if riders of that ilk, because for those who don't know, Jean-Luc Nictou's proper handy. Rode indoors 95-ish. I remember him having a mirror polished techno that looked awesome.
On about the Costa 2, that's also on the bucket list.
Oh, is that on the bucket list? Is it the Costa?
Yeah. Have you ever done that?
big bucket.
Got to dream big. Got to dream big, mate.
In one
I don't
year,
know what
they
you're
went
thinking.
big.
I don't know what you're thinking after I've just said that.
Yeah. Oh my
So back
goodness.
to S3
Back
and
to
the
S3,
quality parts.
I mean, what he
recommend
did.
them.
I mean, this is not an industry secret, but this is what he does. This is not me bragging. S3 make the best aftermarket trials footrest. End of. There's no argument. They made the new hard rock. What's it called? Solid. Hard rock solid footrest.
Yeah.
They made him for the new generation gas 23 onwards.
I know where he's going with this.
And they started breaking, which strange. They don't really break. And I didn't use them in Scotland for whatever reason. And I was riding up, they used to call it Mew Shirley, what's it called now? Trottersburn, 5 the middle one, Dick. 5 the top one, Dick again. And I noticed an S3 footrest in the stream, and I went, this is not good. So I phoned Michelle, literally phoned him and said, Michelle, these footrests are breaking. He says, stop them off sale, take them off sale. So as soon as I came back from Scotland, he didn't say, well, just sell the ones that you've got and we'll worry about it later.
He said, take them off.
So he took them off sale. I put out of stock on my website. They were returned back to S3, which I don't know what he did with them. And they soon rectified the problem. There's not many people do that now.
No.
You know the reputation of that brand and that component, which for us is a big deal.
I know somebody who snapped a set of them on a new gas as well at Mac.
I know somebody who snapped a set of them as well at Mac.
Yeah, and I went, why have you crashed into that tree, you daft git?
Oh yeah, I think the exact answer was somebody said to me, how did you fall off there? And I just went,
I didn't.
I didn't.
It just went ping.
But in all fairness, you are right. The pegs did make a massive difference to the feel of the bike. The standard gas footrest that's in place now is big, but is not that grippy.
It's not comfortable either.
Well, everybody's different sizes and different...
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
I like a sharp footrest.
You like what you like. Yeah. I like a big fat one. Footrest.
I've just looked to Rosie when you've said that.
She's a little skinny whippet.
No, not on about her. No, you've missed it, Stu. You said, I like a big fat one. So I looked at Rosie's. Does Rosie like a big fat one?
Maybe Rosie. Do you like a big fat one, Rosie? She's gone.
She's left.
Cracked up.
She's left.
Gone.
Out of shot right now.
She does.
Very.
Who wouldn't? They're cuddly.
No,
you like a footrest with good girth.
I like a girthy footrest
with a sharp edge to it
that you can feel the edges of.
And doesn't droop.
Somebody's listening to this right now. I actually know a few people watch this with their partners and significant others. Hi Barry, and she's probably now thinking to herself, "What a group of idiots."
Well, we are. That's right. We are. Well done. If you want in high profile
trials talk,
we're not it.
No, we're not those guys.
No. We'll just make you laugh in your tractor.
Going back to trials, though, so very quickly, thank you to S3 for sponsoring this episode because great quality products and without the, shall we say, the risk of sounding like a dad, dead trendy. Right.
And who doesn't like a bit of bling? Let's be honest.
Oh, God, yeah. Especially me. I'm a massive fairy when it comes to sticking
Me too.
Cool parts on my bike.
My new bike is positively like a Christmas bauble with stuff that isn't going to stop me putting my feet down, but I love it.
Who cares?
Yeah. Next on.
Next topic, chaps. I think you'll like this. We've just gone through silly season, so everybody's been jumping bikes. There's been so I'm going to call this the rumor mill.
Sorry, mate.
What is that? Some sort of like?
Did you do that?
I think that was some sort of. I thought it was some sort of spirit that joined us.
I am into the spiritual world, but that's not.
For the people that are not watching it or listening right now, something fell over on the table of its own accord.
Yeah.
Now, so we're going to call this the rumor mill. We're going to very quickly just go through a few subjects, quick fire, and
are we doing this like a true and false?
Yes, true and false about the rumor mill of trials as of late.
Okay. Are gas going bankrupt?
No, we can't start there because that's a big one. I feel like that's a big
false.
one. False, they're not. Oh, Christ. And even better, the rumour mill is right now that Michael Jalabert will ride the electric Honda. That's one of the latest rumours. What do you think about that one?
Is that false?
I haven't got a bloody clue.
No idea.
Okay. Electric Honda. Makes you, when you hear them words, you think a scooter, don't you? It's an electric Honda, but it's actually something they are developing for a trial too?
Yeah, so the bike has won the All Japan Championship for the rounds that it's rode. Right. Okay, Agawa won on the 4RT, or RTL, as it is over there. He won the whole championship. And Fuji rode the select amount of dates and spanked everybody aboard, basically.
It was very impressive to watch.
Dentist drill.
But I hated listening to it.
I don't know about you, John, but I hated the sound of it.
It's terrifying. It's just...
Listen, the electric thing is, we're in the wrong era to get giddy about it. You're not so bad, but when you're 50-odd, listen, it's coming. Whether we like it or not.
We've basically got Tron coming, haven't we? And if you are under 50 years old, you have not got a clue what I've just said. But it was a really crap science fiction film where they ride around on electric bikes.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I mean, they did.
You know, you're a geek like me.
They made a new one. It was really good.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, it's really good.
Electric Motion went to Scotland. I don't sell Electric Motion. I have nothing to do with Electric Motion. They went to Scotland, Alpi Road, and what's his name?
Chris Pearson.
French kid.
Gail Chateauneau.
There's him.
Oh, was it?
I sounded French.
I was like, fair play. And they put a huge, I know a little bit, but I don't know the whole deal. They put a massive amount of effort into that.
Yeah.
And they succeeded. And fair play to Alpi, Inch Perfect, and the Electric Motion. So I thought,
huge
fair
effort.
dues. And then, what's his name? Chris Pearson wrote it in
yeah.
Scott. And I was like,
That was it, the Scott.
this
not
is
the
another,
Scottish,
hang
the
on a minute
Scott.
now. This is the Scott trial on one.
Yes.
And he did it. Do you know what I mean? Like, no issue. So
That's some
whether it's
mark
John
of history,
Shirts, a
that is.
53-year-old, whether it's a has-been, middle-aged, fucking electric, this, that, and the other, it is coming.
Oh,
It's coming.
no
It
doubt.
won't be coming for me until it has to do.
Yeah.
My van's diesel. It'll stay diesel until I have to buy an electric van. Same as, my wife's car, that's a diesel, but I want to ride trials and I want to ride Scotland. So if somebody says to me, if David Ignan says to me next year it's electric only, I'll go,
It's electric only then, isn't it?
go on then, and I'll go electric only. So it is what it is. It's
Let's talk
coming.
about shall we say, the overall, because there are electric bikes out there. You've just mentioned one, the Electric Motion.
Yeah.
I rode the Mecha Techno for 2 days in Andorra, and I'll be completely honest, enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah.
I have been, and you will mark from past podcasts, not a fan of electric bikes.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. It's a downhill mountain bike, a lad rocked up at the trial your dad put on, and I had a go on the geared Electric Motion.
Oh,
with
the
a
new one,
proper clutch
the factory.
and proper gears. And you know what? It were all right.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
I couldn't
it's gotta
even
be
knock
good,
it.
isn't it?
I couldn't even knock it. I went and I put it in third gear on a slow, grippy turn and go, this is going to be good. It never spun. It gripped like stink, where the old single gear would have 100% spun up.
Yeah.
I came down and I went, I can't even slag it off because it's pretty good.
Ah, so good.
So I can't be any more honest than that. Do I want one? No.
No, not yet. But
No,
I think,
it might
give
come,
it another 5
but-
years or so.
It won by making me go, well, that weren't crap. I
So-
can't say it was crap. It was good. It was good.
Let me put this to you then.
Yeah.
If you had a choice of the electric bikes
Yeah.
out there, this is completely, none of us have got a horse in the race, shall we say? But if you had the choice of, because we haven't mentioned one of them, etc., if you had a choice of a Mecha Techno, Electric Motion Factory, a Gas
Yes.
TXT-E, and the Honda, which Fuji was riding, which one would you like?
The Honda.
Electric Motion all day long. I tell you for why. It's the only production one. And it's not to say it's easier to make one-off bikes, whether it's a factory gas, a factory Honda, a factory whatever. But Electric Motion I'm bigging up Electric Motion here, aren't I?
Yeah,
it's just honest, it's honest.
Making a factory bike and then putting it into production is a whole different ball game.
That's why I'd want
know
the
what I
Honda.
mean?
It's
So-
factory. It'd be like having Tony Bowes for
Yeah,
RT.
well,
It'd be like the dog's bollocks.
Let's
wouldn't
see
it?
what production.
Nobody else would have one.
Let's see what production stuff is like. The gas apparently is going into production. God knows when.
They've been saying that for a long time, though.
They have, and that's gas do say a lot of things. But
I think you'd have the Dragonfly.
I like the Dragonfly because it's so light.
Yes.
But I really like the look of the Gasser. Because I don't know why.
Because it looks like a gasser.
Well, A, it looks like a Gasser, and B, I just like the way they've put the battery in and how the engine sits
Yeah.
with the battery. I feel like it looks like a finished item.
I think because technology is quite new, I don't know if there's any issues with Electric Motion, so I don't sell them. But when you're buying an electric, it's like a mountain bike. I have a Specialized Levo. I only have it for one reason. I've got a good dealer 20 minutes from my house. I've had 4 motors. I still love it, but I get looked after. Andy Kiffin at Northwest Mountain Bike Centre. Experience of, 50 years experience.
Yeah.
So when you're coming to buying an electric bike that's potentially going to have a problem,
You want somebody who can
you
mend
need
it.
somebody to look after it.
It's like Andy Rich.
It's
got
like
you've got a problem with your seat. You go to
Vertigo's
Andy Rich, he'll mend it. Because he knows he's the best in Britain at mending.
Yeah.
I'd like to think if you want a gasser, you come to John Shirt.
Yeah.
Because I do know gas. Same as a Vertigo with Richard at Cameo.
Yeah.
I requested on the last gas that I had that came sort of via KTM and stuff like that. I requested that it came through you, John, simply because I know that when I had a gas as a kid, I fondly remember coming into the old place where your dad and you were working. I remember dropping down into the car park, and it was when I think my 98, that C-Class year, when I was riding. I think we were out like 4 or 5 times a week then, and I remember having like my first R16 V shock that me and Dibbs had a couple weighted and stuff like that. And then I remember the week before I won a round of the British Championship that year. And it was that week, I remember specifically, my bike came to your place and you put my bike together before that weekend. And it's weird that things like that stay with you, because in my head as a kid, I was super excited because John Shirt had put my bike together for that week. And I loved that 98 gas. I had black rims on it. I had black nitrate sliders in the forks. It was a Trick 125. I even found that bike on eBay.
What, the actual one?
The actual one.
Get off.
No, my dad sent me a link. It is wrecked, but it is my bike.
Why did you not buy it?
I was going away to the on tour, and I just didn't have time to go and get it, okay? And for one reason or another, I didn't go and get it. And I'm kicking myself now because I should have gone and bought my bike.
Or we've just gone full circle, and if you'd got it and rode it here, just let you down. That lovely memories.
Stick with the memory, like I said, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Just gone full circle.
And let's be honest, it was a 98 125.
Yeah, you've grown a bit.
It's going to knock its absolute ring out, and it's going to be flat, and the suspension's going to be bad.
True.
And they still... I don't think 98 had the Hebo brakes on yet. 99 had the Hebo brake calipers on, but they were terrible.
Are we going to go back to trues and falses?
Yeah, trues and falses. Here we go. Right, so rumours again.
So you started with Gelibert. Right, go on, next one.
Start with
Yamaha working with or bought out Electric Motion? Or I heard some sort of rumour.
There has been a deal that's gone through, I think, between Yamaha and Electric Motion.
Really? Is that 100% true?
I haven't got a bloody clue. It's the rumour.
So we don't know. So these are just questions to...
questions I'm hoping that between the three of us, we might be able to make sense of them.
We'll have people in the know giving us the answers to these. We don't know the answer, but we're just throwing it out.
I'm just addressing the rumours.
This is the rumours.
Okay, this is
with another one.
The rumour mill.
I like this game.
Honestly, this is a really stupid game, in all fairness.
Go on, have you waited this one? You must know rumour mills.
I just don't listen to them. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's... You know, the one that sort of relates to me at the moment is KTM are going through a restructure process. So you get the people coming in and say, oh, KTM's booked, or gas is booked again, blah, blah, blah. And I just roll my eyes.
Yeah.
Gas has had problems since 1988.
Yeah.
And I'm used to it. It's up and down,
KTM?
and up and down.
In general, it's just having a restructure.
The world, not the UK economy, not European economy, the whole world economy is in trouble.
Yeah, it's up
Do you know what I mean? So, have you heard? Nothing will surprise me. Whether it's KTM news, gas news, Vertigo news, TRS news. Have you heard? It's a big brother world.
Yeah.
You know, the government can't hide anything. So what if Boris Johnson has a party in COVID? Good on him. 20 years ago, nobody would have known about that.
Can I just say, who didn't?
Well, I didn't, because I've retired from partying. I used to do a lot. And I can definitely play top trumps with that one.
I think the answer for the KTM answer is you've just got to look at the people that are still... I've got running contracts with these companies. Gas in America are super strong.
Yeah, they're currently competing and winning at the Dakar.
I'm not going to be funny, but
they've not gone Ropsy.
They've just re-signed Justin Barsha for another 2 years in Supercross. So
next trues and falses.
Next trues and falses.
Because we're running out of time.
Here we go. We're running out of time. Yeah, a little bit. The ACU British Championship now moving to, shall we say, a calendar of 4 double header weekends. With the ladies' youths, and adults all together over 2 days.
Which is what we said it should be on past podcasts.
Yes. However, there was a point raised to me last night by another podcast presenter, one of our team, the lovely Ben Butterworth.
Yep.
Who he isn't with us today, but he is alive.
He will be back on when we do classic stuff.
People jump to conclusions well
Sadly,
fast.
he's not with us. Really?
He's not with us anymore.
No, either.
He sent me.
He's alive and well.
Yeah, he's completely fine. And he did say that how is that going to physically work? Because we've all been a national. Now, I want you to imagine a national section in your head. Mm-hmm. Bit of tape, couple of diversion markers. Mm-hmm. Now I want you to add the diversion markers for Trial GB class, Trial 2, Trial Expert, Youths, Cs, Ds,
That's a lot of
Bs,
flags.
As, Ladies Youths, Ladies Adults.
The Laura flags.
10 sets of flags. And I might not even have the classes right. What's it going to look like?
Chaos.
Chaos.
Well, if the venue, I don't know anything about it. I think fundamentally, like Stu just say, I think the idea is great.
Same.
Getting everybody to the same weekend, more people there, hopefully
Can I
spectators.
be a pain in the arse also? Because it's just 4 weekends of the year, isn't it? Mm-hmm. No other trial should run on that weekend.
I agree.
Everybody goes and watches and supports.
Good idea.
And likewise for the world round, we are going to have a world round. No other trial should go on them weekends. There you go, ACU. Good idea, that.
But I think I agree. But what Danny was saying about the route, it potentially it could be an absolute headache. But I guess they know that.
I think there's
Do you know what I mean? There needs to be.
Well, they will do.
If there's one clerk of the course for the whole event, forget it.
No.
Gee, that would be a nightmare.
There'll be a
but there
clerk.
needs to be, although it's the same weekend, I guess they'll run separate events. Although it's the same venue in the same weekend, there'll be separate events. I can't see that the kids section, youth.
You'll have a clerk course for the kids, surely.
I hope
a clerk
so.
course
Yeah,
for the
there
ladies,
needs to be.
surely, and then one for the lads. Surely that makes common sense, does it? Or do we not?
Well, all I can say is, obviously, that's not a rumor. That's cold hard fact.
Yeah,
that this
that's true.
That this is going to happen.
True.
I really feel that it will be a testament to those that are running it if they can pull it off. And
do we know who is actually in charge?
Well, what I do know
I've
is,
asked, and I've not.
is it just kind of like when you walk into a room and people go, "It's not me, it's not me."
Well, I've got a bit of beef actually because I was one of the first to jump on board last year to sponsor the series. Barry phoned me and I went, "Yes, Barry, I'll jump in." I'm not going to say how much it was. It wasn't a silly amount of money, but it was still an amount.
Yeah.
Barry's the only person after he's not doing the job that's phoned and thanked me. I have not had a phone call, nothing from the ACU to say what they're doing. Would you like? Thank you for supporting the series in 24. Would you like to continue?
Nothing.
I've had nothing. So,
oh my gosh.
which is a little bit. I've supported the series and I've been around for a very, very long time. So, we love the ACU and we wouldn't be anywhere without them. And I hope the British Championship is a success. But really, the first thing you do is thank last year's sponsors
Before you start,
and give them the opportunity. Do you want to support us again? So, I have got beef, to be fair.
Yeah, fair. And
I think that's justifiable as well. Very justifiable.
Because the industry is not in a good position.
No.
So if somebody's going to give, it doesn't matter the cost. I spent X amount last year. I'm not even an importer.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a dealer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I still supported the series. And I'm still willing to do it.
Yeah.
But phone me, not me phone you.
Right. Whilst we're airing our feelings, because this is a safe space.
I feel we're in a counselling.
This is great. This is going to get really good
session.
in about 5 seconds. Because I am
wait.
about to say something that will really brass people off. So, I was a huge supporter of Barry Huskinson running it.
Yes.
And do you know why? Because the man put all other things aside, work commitments, family commitments, all because of, and he was told by a number of members of his family, he won't mind me saying this, he doesn't know I'm saying it, sorry Barry, he was told by a number of people not to get involved. What? And he still did it. Mm-hmm. No, members of his family, this took a lot of his time up, etc. Even his old man said to him, Don't bother, son. It's
time consuming.
But he was dedicated.
Time consuming, and also, just for those at the ACU in power and that may listen to this or may not listen to this, he said, they're a ship that's going down, mate. Get on a lifeboat. And that's what he was told. And he still, because of his passion for the sport, did a good job.
Yeah.
I agree.
And
I only went to
that's
2 rounds, but he did do a good job.
I think the big thing with the ACU, and yes, we are airing things, they have to realise they can be very passionate about road racing, they can be very passionate about motocross. We are passionate about trials. There's a lot of people in Britain incredibly passionate about trials. The ACU, not so much. And they need to alter things around that people who run the ACU side of trials are as passionate, like Barry.
Yeah.
Like us, like John. He should be part of the ACU. Hire him to sort trials. He's bloody have it done.
Well,
we need passionate people about our sport. Because we pay our dues.
Well,
we pay
talking
our
about
subs.
that, because we've only got a couple of minutes to spare. Talking about that, I'm going to put this out to an open question. Hopefully people will comment on YouTube or comment on Spotify, because you can get us on Spotify, Apple and YouTube. And hopefully they'll get involved. If I said to you that the ACU license fee is going to go up to possibly mirror the fee, not, shall we say mirror, because that might be a long way and some people might lose their minds, but even if it went from the £30-ish, £25, £30-ish that it is right now, you can see that none of us actually know exactly how much it is, because if you've got it on auto renew.
Yeah, I've got my auto renew with Enduro as well, you see. So
yeah,
I've just done mine 27 quid.
Is it 27?
27 quid.
Yeah, I've just done mine with Joey's. Yeah.
So let's say if I put this to 2 other grown ass adults, if it became 50 quid, would you go, oh no? Or would
Everybody
you pay your 50
moan,
quid?
but they just pay.
Can I just say, I'd have no problem with it if that money stayed in trials. Didn't go to the Isle of Man to help fund the TT, or go to...
Have you heard a rumour?
The TT...
Is that on the rumour mill?
Yes, I have heard
Have you heard a rumour?
I have heard a rumour. Yes, I have heard a rumour. Each sports funds should stay in that sport.
You say that, but let me stop you there. With a little bit further education, because of my work with the FIM, I know that a lot of MotoGP funds actually filter down and help to pay for the live stream of the World Trials this year.
Okay.
So we can't say that because some sports are bigger than others.
I mean, going back to the ACU, I mean, I support the S3 series. Listen, the ACU is golden. We need the ACU, but the ACU need us, the industry. We have to work together. Any relationship, whether it's your husband or your wife, or we have 7 people at John Ship Motorcycles. We have to communicate.
Yeah.
Communication is key.
It's a
You
two-way
can't be all
street.
secretive about what you're doing. There's no harm in talking. I am in the industry. I'm not an importer anymore, but I don't know what's happening. I think, somebody sent me an email? I can't think, but we need better communication.
I think it needs better organisation.
Yeah, for just this to happen today, I speak to you, you've spoke to John. Later on,
but how
another
simple
person's
is it?
turning up. It's so simple. If I want to ask John a question about something, even about my bike, or just hope you've had an happy new year, etc., etc., we talk, we use, communication. Please, well, basically, I'm going to be completely transparent again on the podcast. I've sent the ACU a message saying, I've got to be completely honest. I've not been thrilled with the amount of promotion that you've done for trials. And I was very frank. And it was direct to the guys there, asking them for their direct email addresses so I could officially message them. I did it over social media because, believe it or not, social media, a great tool. And I haven't said I want to run any events, but I definitely want to help them promote trials.
And what's wrong with that? People passionate about the sport,
We all
people
love
in the
trials
industry.
at the end of the day, so...
Yeah. Why not? Why don't the organisers, the ACU, reach out to the people who are most passionate about trials? It makes sense. It's common sense.
Yeah. And
It's communication.
And I've got to give a little bit of thanks very quickly to the people that listen to these podcasts or watch Trialtube, etc. Because last year Trialtube had 650,000 views, which
And you were busier than a busy thing in a busy
I had
place.
very busy 2024.
I was about to mention cucumber, and then I realised I can't do that. You were busy as can be, and you didn't even do a great amount of pushing.
I didn't do a load of content.
Hopefully this year we'll be doing more.
Yeah,
because
we are.
we're going to be. We want to be at the World Round. We want to be at very
So I'll give you
places.
exclusive. I am already at the World Round, but unfortunately, I'm not entirely sure if I will be able to be physically there because once again, I'll be doing this.
Okay.
So the FIM have scraped the bottom of the barrel, and you've got another year of hearing me banging on about Trial GP, and I really apologise to those that are sick of my voice.
It's not a bad gig.
It's not a bad gig. Japan's pretty crap because they all go to Japan and have a really nice time, and I sat at home at 2 a.m. going, I think he got up that step. I'll be honest. Last year, I may have fell asleep on the feed. Whilst I was watching it, I was literally like, so I had somebody in my ear going, Danny, did you see that? And I went, yeah. I saw that. Oh Christ, don't tell anybody.
So any other, before we wrap up, any other nice bits you need to vent out of this counselling session?
No, not really, mate. No, I feel
with
very
everything?
cleansed and very spiritual, and I'll go back to sunny Buxton and do some more.
Just so you know, we've had
and we've not been grumpy gits there. All we're doing is varying our opinion.
No. It's the start of the year, and
It's
we're
just
doing
three
some
pillocks talking about trials.
That's passionate pillocks.
Passionate
pillocks.
Pillocks.
Passionate.
I'm going to rename it. I'm going to rename the podcast.
And we're not as we have had as poo-pooers as well as when you come, because we did go, oh my god, it's like watching three keyboard warriors. And it's like, yeah, okay, well, don't watch us.
Well,
then.
little do they know that I can't read.
Don't watch us, and I can't type. So with these sausage fingers, I'm not so good. So there you go.
Opinions are like arseholes. Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
I do enjoy John on the podcast. So John's obviously, a huge thank you, John.
Maybe I am an arsehole. I don't know.
I think last year we finished out with John as one of the last podcasts, and genuinely we had such a good reaction, John.
We had to get you back straight back.
Yeah, we had to get you straight back in.
Where we left off, and we're going to get you back on later on the year as well.
What you get, I'm afraid.
I think
that's why we love you so much.
Well, the Telford show's coming up soon. This podcast will be out pretty promptly.
Yeah.
I'm going to try my best to edit it.
We have currently got absolutely nothing organised for Telford yet, but we will do. We'll get on it.
You need a rucksack. You need your packed lunch in it. And one of the little tripods sticking out the end.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, that's what you need. That's
what I need to wear an anorak. I'm going to get some really bad comedy glasses.
One of those hiking sticks that's carbon fibre.
And have all your photographs ready to show, of all your old bikes ready to show the exhibitors.
and a rough smell of mothball.
Yeah. I did notice. What a great show. Very quickly, what a great show. But honestly, I've never been to a show and felt like I felt at the 98 dirt bike show. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? I felt like such a kid when I went there.
I'm not going to sell many Trials experience days down there, pal.
No, because there's too much experience in the room to sell it.
Yeah.
It's a people show, and it's good people.
It is good people's.
Bit networking.
Probably, I'm going to be honest, probably most of them are listening to this podcast thinking, shut up, you knob. So, anyway, we're going to wrap up there, gentlemen. There will be another instance of John being on the podcast, no doubt, because as we get closer to Scotland, John, I feel like people will be mithering you in regards to
him and me.
I love it. I'll talk about Scotland all damn day.
Now we'll get you back on. If you do want to contact us and tell us what a knob we are, Danny is
info@trialtube.co.uk for the direct email. You can also catch us on Instagram @trialtube. I'm not going to give you my personal Instagram or my OnlyFans.
You're on OnlyFans.
Well, but people pay me to keep my clothes on.
No comment.
John,
no comment on.
John, what are you contactable at?
Oh, good grief. I like phone calls, mate. I just like old-fashioned phone. Just pick your phone up.
You're going to regret that.
Yeah. I am info@trialsday.com, or I'm on the socials, on the TikToks, on the Instas, on the Facebook as @trialsday.
Are you on TikTok?
Yeah, I've just started.
Are you on 40 million
I've
little
just
girls?
started, but I'm not taking it very serious. I'm just doing silly Snapchat shit, really.
I love that.
I look at everyone's profile. What's it? I've got 1 million followers. 1 million. I think I've got 104.
They need to reinvent a mobile phone, because my iPhone computer is not a phone. You can't phone anybody. Can you?
And it don't work.
No, they don't work as a phone.
No, they're shocking.
I don't want a mini computer in my pocket. I want a phone. I want to speak to people.
You did try to talk to me this morning, and it was like that comedy sketch.
Shit. But I can go on the internet and whatever.
Mate,
anyway,
I'm sorry. At the end of that, all I can do is imagine Stu Day doing some TikTok dance right now.
I don't even know what it is.
You're not missing out, John. I swear
You're
to
not
God.
missing, no. But
You're
all
really
the kids
not
are down
missing
with
out.
it, so I've got to.
Well, that's goodbye from me. Thank you for watching, listening, however you are ingesting this content, and we will be back in the future. But
goodbye from Busto the dog.
Yeah, we've kept the dog. We've actually stolen.
We souvenired him. We souvenired him.
He's got a cool hat on.
I know.
I like his bean.
Reminds me of Max.
Bubble.
So long from me, Stu Day.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you again soon.
Peace.
Ciao.